I have never seen a zine, World Zine or otherwise, like IPE #1, and I'm guessing you haven't either. Let's look inside.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. O God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't, oh fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely.
Hey everyone, it is Tom. It's FANzine Live. We're doing World Zines, and this is coming to us out of Rome, Italy. It is called IPE, an interesting zine. When I picked it up, I had no idea it was going to be bound in this way. Real interesting. This is a piece of foam board, black foam board, and then the whole thing is wrapped in black, like electrician's tape. So you can see maybe how he used the tape to cover up the staples. I've never seen binding done this way before. It has a very technical type feel to it, and that makes a lot of sense when you open up the book and the paper's super thin. It's like almost like just a step or two up from tissue paper. But this is IPE, the first issue of SER's Personal Comics Anthology, done by a Stefano Togni, and I believe he's out of Milan, Italy. Togni appears to be an engineer. No big surprise looking at the work that he does. I have a challenge. My mind is not, I'm not an engineer by nature. I actually have a son who loves civil engineering and those types of things, so I'm trying to do my best to understand and relate. But I am a liberal arts graduate. I work in the world, well, my degrees are in government and public administration. I went through the liberal arts side of things. I did as little science as I could, and so the way in which Togni tries to share his perspectives, I have some challenges with. He talks here about the function. He says, each story has 4 pages and 1 topic. Each issue comprises 3 stories. Every story is an exercise in concept engineering. Original, yet sometimes dull, vision statements on things which are established and led to excess to prove. He says, in times I understood I am not an artist, nor a theoretician or a designer. I am not a philosopher nor a cartoonist. I doubted both my rationalist and irrationalist ideas and didn't accept both universalist and relativist glimpses that I had. Until I found in engineering the serious brother of toying, I decided to play with the world and reformulate its views as it changes and glows, using tools both of the engineer and of the child. He's doing an engineer's take on the comics form and using the comics form to discuss larger philosophical matters. This is some heavy stuff, and it's presented in a way which is really interesting and unique. Take a look at this first page here. We'll get past the technical diagrams. Notice all of his figures, all of his people, all have different types of shapes, 3-dimensional shapes for heads. Kind of interesting to show the variation and the uniqueness of each person. But also, he does very little hand lettering. This looks like a technical manual. I mean, you're really deep into that side of the world. But even here, he uses, and I don't think this is it may be a straight up Helvetica bold or black, but I'm looking at some of the imperfections in the photocopying make me wonder if that's a function of the photocopier, which I kind of doubt because everything else looks pretty good, or if it's intentional to look a little weathered or distressed. But notice how he does this. He says, on the malevolent gaze of passersby and how it's all connected to the surroundings. So there's this topic. People always perceive always when they are observed. People perceive always from which direction they are observed. Maybe the evil eye is not really just superstition. It is common to experience this feeling on the street, in public places, in bars, on vehicles, in cars, at home. Look also how he does his page numbering. 2, 3, 4. And then he goes from the diamond patterns, the triangle diamond patterns, to circular patterns. But this is really heavy stuff. Perceiving observation even when it's made from a considerable distance, including through telescopes, binoculars, and video cameras. Then talking about the sensitivity to the observation arising from fear, feeling that they might have something to lose, and look at the symbolism of the different pieces of the shaved off cube turning into that mess. Really, really interesting. The horror of symmetry and playing with the ideas of actual symmetry. The mind is a mirror to the world is reflected on it. So the world we are in is a byproduct of our mind. This is some really fascinating work. I never did great at philosophy class. I only took a couple. I'm not great with philosophy. I'm not great with engineering. So this is really a stretch for me. And as I was reading it, I was thinking to myself, man, this is going to be a hard one to talk about. I honestly think that I probably need to read this like 3 or 4 times and find somebody to talk to about it, because I've got to work this stuff through and process through it in my mind. But there's no mistaking. This is just some fantastic construction. First of all, here we strictly follow unreality rules, since keeping the unreal in mind prevent the arrest of the system. We apply irrealism to the non-urban fabric through the unfolding of some basic factors: building, land, citizens, price, sources. Then some specific transformers make it possible to operate on its shape: booleans, dials, levers, toggles, and lists. Whew! I would love to spend like an hour with this creator and just work my way through this. Art construction is great. The page construction is fascinating. If you notice how everything is kind of sliding down, and you can even see the slide in the text there using kind of a backwards italic. And then this one, look at that, how he's able to make it look like a multi-story building. Wow. Then this last page here, this inside back cover, he has another technical diagram. He has what looks like, it says Luster Prague. I wonder if this was like a display that he did. Each of the dimensions on this technical diagram have numbers, and then he has all these numbers, and letters. And if you go through and look at these appear to be some like a recommended reading list. And I don't know all of these, but I recognize William Blake, Jane Jacobs, The Death and Life of Great American Cities. So I'm presuming the rest of these are other books and pieces that perhaps have influenced the work. This is the great part about World Zines, folks. I mean, truly mind-blowing. Does some great stuff with art, does some great stuff with layout, fascinating character construction. His narrative form is really, really out there. And it makes you step back and think, how do I make my comics? How do I make my zines? And is there something I could learn from material like this? I think it's safe to say I've never seen anything like this. But that, in my mind, makes for a great, great world zine. So that's what I've got for you today. I'll see if I can find some information on how you can pick up a copy if you're so inclined. It really is, it's a stretch. This is about as far away from Superman and Spider-Man as you can get. Let me know what you think in the comments, folks. It is such a creative departure from stuff I'm used to seeing. Leave those thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, like the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends, because we're looking at stuff here that really makes you think, makes you wonder, makes you stretch your mind. And I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is Tom. I will catch you next time.